Hey, good morning, everybody. BDL44 coming at you in another video. All right, so I want to talk a little more about the Lakers coaching search because I'm hearing a few names that the Lakers are talking about picking up. One of them being Darvin Ham. He's someone who's been reported to have an interview with the Lakers. He's an assistant coach with the defending champ, Milwaukee Bucks. And I like him a lot. I remember him from, when I was a kid watching basketball. He was known for being a leaper. That boy could jump out the gym. He's one of those. So I know for a fact that he's been coaching as an assistant coach for quite a while. Talk about paying his dues. He's paid him. So this is somebody who's deserving. And, I would be open-minded about what he could do for the franchise, just like I would anyone else. At the end of the day, what the Lakers need, we aren't sure. To be completely honest with you, that depends a lot on the direction the team wants to go in. And so, hold on just a second, you guys. I'm trying to set this up so I can make sure I get breakfast set up just fine here. But, the most important thing is knowing what direction you want to go in. It's not necessarily just picking a guy and saying, okay, coach my team. What's your team? That's the issue that we've had. Because we know that Frank Vogel was not best for the roster that he had this year. And that changes from year to year. Especially with our situation, that we don't have assets. That we have superstars that are aging or injury prone. I think the most important aspect for us is to know who we're going to be. And I think then you can properly assess what type of coach that you need. That's one aspect of it. Another aspect of it is the same thing that I've been saying the whole time, which is something I know is not a one-day fix, which makes me think this hire could be a temporary hire. And that point being that the front office is in need of a makeover. And we've talked about that. Everyone who talks about the Lakers has talked about the structure or lack thereof of the front office and the many voices that all contribute to ultimate decision making and just how the mistakes have been chronicled at this point, and all the things that the Lakers have done wrong. Excuse me. We've talked about them. Everyone's talked about them. So we know that the front office is the one aspect of the franchise that does need the most attention at this point. It's not the roster. It's the people who put the roster together. It's not the coach. It's the people who hires the coach. It's not even the GM. It's the people who hire the GM. And so I'm looking at Jeannie and the people that she has running that. I'm looking at Clutch. I'm looking at the Rampus family because I've been told to look at the Rampus family, even though I haven't heard anything from them, for which I want to hear. I really do want someone to sit down with them for about 15, 20 minutes and just talk to them. I don't think there's any harm in that. See where their heads are. They don't have to answer questions that has to do with directly, giving up what it is they need to give up. But I do want to have some type of direction and understanding. Hint around that you guys are running things, hint around that you're not running things, hint around that you understand that if you are running things, certain things need to be done that haven't been done, and we need to bring in some people that we don't have in place right now in order to help us do that. So I think the problem that I have in the coaching search is, for example, I'm hearing names that I like. I've heard Kenny Atkinson's name. That I brought him to the table a few days ago on this channel. Obviously, Darvin Ham, I'm interested in that type of thing. Somebody who's had some coaching experience in the assistant ranks, because at the end of the day, we're seeing what's going on in Brooklyn. Let's not be them. So that's important to me. Get somebody who actually has some experience. And then I'm hearing names of coaches who are attached to teams that are in the playoffs right now. And I say to myself, that's misdirection. If you're looking at those coaches thinking, okay, I'm going to make those coaches are going to do for me what they did for the rosters that they got, you're an idiot. I'm not going to even pull punches. You're an idiot. If that's what the Lakers are doing, they're being stupid. And the reason why that's the case is because you don't have those assets. I heard Taylor Jenkins' name. Is Jaren Jackson walking through that door? Is Brooks walking through that door? Do we have Brandon Clark? Are we getting ready to trade for him? Do we have a deal that we can get John Moran in a couple years? What do you think Taylor Jenkins is going to do with nothing, which is what we have? I hear about Nick Nurse. Is Nick Nurse bringing Scotty Barnes with him? Is he bringing OG Anunoby? Is Nick Nurse going to be providing Fred VanVleet? Is he coming with him? No. Oh, okay, then you're gonna need more than just a name. And see, that's the problem I have with the Lakers. What is your direction? Are we a defensive team? If so, go give me some defensive players. Prove it. Are you a rebuilding team? Then you're gonna need a coach that can deal with rebuilding situations. You go get a coach that's best for LeBron, he may not necessarily be what's best for the kids. And if you're getting something that's best for Bron, and then Bron leaves, you're gonna be left with the wrong coach again, for which you're gonna have to pay him again, for which you're gonna find yourself unhappy about the situation again, and people are gonna be talking about it. Now you made another mistake again. See, the Lakers, I think they're in a space where they have an opportunity to continue skipping steps if they want to. You know what I mean? They can continue on this path of trying to cheat their way. And I don't mean cheat as in breaking the rules, but I mean as in skipping steps. Cheat their way to a championship. They can keep that process up. Cheat their way through having to do the difficult things like, hey, you go home, thank you. Because those things need to be done. And if Jeanie's skipping those steps, she's going to find out that there's nothing she can do that's going to make her a champion within the confines of that circumstance. You were able to strike it rich, getting Bron and AD and all these different things because you had assets for which to acquire them. Now, those same assets that you acquired don't have the same value, so you need to make your next move, your best move. Whatever you do with these set of assets must be something that turns them into more, not less. They need to turn to more, not less. We can't make the mistake of thinking that we can ride this out with them and that it's going to lead us to where we want to go. They are going to continue to depreciate in value because they're old and injury prone, respectively. This is not a game. So the Lakers need to make sure that who's ever making the decision to allocate those assets wherever they're going, they need to make sure that those people are the people that's going to make the right decision with those assets. And that is my concern. I don't think that those people are willing to take the proper steps. I'm not sure that the people that she has in place can effectively get it done, because history's shown us they haven't. And the things that I'm hearing them doing is, coaching. I don't have no problem with the way they're going through the coaching process. I like the names that I'm hearing. All that's cool. I like the couple of players that we picked up before the end of the season. Wenyen Gabriel, picking up Stanley Johnson. Those are good things. But at the end of the day, we have so many very, very unique problems that no other team, not any of the other teams in the league, have right now. And we're going to need somebody to help us get out of it. You're going to need a coach that can live comfortably and coach comfortably in volatile and ever-changing situations. You're going to need somebody who can be fluid in such a way that they can work with a bunch of superstars or work with a bunch of G Leaguers or work with a combination of both. You need somebody who can deal with whatever. And that's what the Lakers must understand with this coaching hire. Or otherwise, you're just going to hire another guy that you're going to have to pay, that you're not going to want to coach your team. See, that's the problem. The Lakers keep hiring guys, keep them for 2 years, find out they're no good, and then want to fire them. They do that because of who's choosing them, the coaches. It's not because the coaches suck. It's not because there's something wrong outside of that. It's just when you have the wrong people making the decisions, the decisions are going to be bad. So that's the reality of Jeanie Buss's situation. That's what she has to face, man. I know you got your friends around, you got people you've been doing business with who happen to be your friends for a while. You've won a championship with them as of late, so you think that that's enough to justify keeping them around, even though you know deep down in your heart you're not getting what you need from them. Cutting your losses is okay to cash out. It's okay to walk away from the table when you've won. You don't have to keep playing. That's what I say about Clutch. We've won. We got a championship out of LeBron James. If he were 27 years old, we assess this differently. Of course we assess this differently. You give him whatever you want, whatever he needs. If you need to forego picks all the way down to 27, you can do that. Why? Because in 27, if he's 25, 2022? He's going to be what? 30? You can handle that. You can handle that. My math is trash, but you can handle him aging gracefully in our uniform. What you can't do is have him come here already having aged and then think that you're going to get a whole lot of grace out of the situation. You're not. It's not. All that you've seen him be is wonderful. And maybe you can keep doing this for a long time. But the way Father Time works, as we all know, is it doesn't come gradually. Sometimes you just fall off a cliff. And one day, LeBron James is not going to be able to do it no more. Period. I know guys like that don't want to believe that. Guys like Tom Brady, they don't want to believe that. But your body is going to stop wanting to do this. And so we cannot play the situation as if he's going to keep playing for as long as we need him to in order for us to get ourselves back on our feet with him as an asset. You can't. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that the whole conversation we're having is about who's making those decisions. Now, if the people in place were good at what they did or had a good structure, then we knew, hey, they're going to make a great decision. Like, for example, a great GM. Who do I trust up there? Who do I trust? I trust everybody. Masai Ujiri. Let's say, for example, Masai Ujiri is a good GM. If we bring him in this situation, I trust he's gonna give him time. He'll figure it out. Just give him time. He's a shark. He'll figure it out. It may take some time, but he'll figure it out. Even if he has to break rules and a lot of people and mess up his own name in regards to doing so, he'll still make sure he comes through and delivers for your franchise. You know that. Sam Presti's one of those guys as well. You think about Danny Ainge. All the guys that have proven it, they're the ones that I would trust in this situation. Simple as that. And I'm not saying our guys haven't proven it, but they've also proven that they've too messed up. See? You can't win a championship and then destroy a team and then say, see, I won a championship. No, I see you've won a championship and destroyed a team. So I gotta look at both. And that's what it is. It's like it's who's making the decisions at the end of the day. Who is hiring whom? And as of right now, that needs to be straightened out first. So if you can't tell, I'm not too upbeat about what the Lakers are going to do. What's the word? I'm feeling pessimistic about what they're doing here. It's not that I don't like what I'm seeing. It's just that I know that they're skipping steps. I know she's not doing the hard work in terms of getting the Rambis family and Clutch and whoever else needs to get out of the way so she can have a free franchise flowing properly. She's not yet there. Because if she were, we'd be hearing about it. We'd be hearing about this. We'd probably be seeing tweets. People need to move out the way so the Lakers can be the Lakers again. Or the next coaching hire, the next roster decision, all of that stuff is just going to be a mistake. Straight up. As long as you're building to try to make this thing a championship squad for next season, you're building the wrong way. Now, if you happen to make your team a championship team next season, like, say, the Minnesota Timberwolves happen to make the playoffs, or the Pelicans happen to make the playoffs, that's a good thing. that's cool. But if you're aiming for that, from our point of view, from where we are right now, and you're aiming for that next year, you're setting yourself up for yet another failure. And so because they're faced with that, you just gotta wait and see if they understand that and make the right decision. Simple as that. So all this coaching, let's hire a coach. You're just gonna fire him. That's all you're gonna do is fire him. You're gonna fire him because you're not gonna have the players to make him look good. He's gonna get frustrated, lose focus, not be his best self, and then we're gonna blame him. That's how it always goes. Frank Vogel was a competent coach when he got here. Good, defensive minded. When he left this place, this man couldn't seem to put 5 big players on the floor to defend. Never mind his offense being garbage. He couldn't put it in his mind to match up. That's what this job did to the man. Like, when you zoom all the way out and when you look at the bigger picture, what you see is a man in Frank Vogel who lost his will to make good decisions for the team. They stressed him to that degree, from what I could tell. The pressure, the stress, all of it just made for a big jambalaya in his brain. And when you saw him put players on the floor, a lot of the times it made absolutely no sense. And a lot of times when you look over at him, he looked shell-shocked, just like scared, like he was about to get fired or like it was doing something to him. That's what I took from him. And so when I say that pressure is real, you can't just hire any old guy who's got a nice young team running around who may have done a couple good things. You're bringing them to the bright lights. Did you not just see what it did to Westbrook? That's what I'm saying. You got to make sure the people who are making these decisions understand what the hell they're doing and understand what they have, what it is that they're in, what they are holding. You are not bringing athletes and professionals to a franchise. You are potentially bringing athletes and professionals to a very, very strained environment. It's the truth. Because you refuse to get rid of Clutch, and it's because you refuse to cut down all them damn voices in there. And because of it, the media is loud, and they apply their amount of pressure, which is also frustrating for a lot of athletes and professionals. The media, you can't even control the media. You just got to make good decisions so the media has less to be honest about. Because they're going to lie, but you can't allow those things that they're saying about you that are negative to actually be the case. And that's the problem with the Lakers. You know, they're giving the media too much, and it makes the job suck. I'm just being honest with you. Y'all desire to be the number one thing talked about every day, and have the most drama, and have the most polarizing figures. What it does, it makes simple athletes who just want to play ball look at y'all and say, nah. And it's not just because they don't, it's not because they don't respect us. It's not because they don't want to be champions or whatever. They don't think we can do it. It's because what comes with it ain't worth it for them. So what the Lakers need to do as a franchise is identify that and mold their environment to fit that. Mold the environment to offset that somehow. Now, do I have the equation, the answer to that? Hell no. I don't know how to do that. I'm just telling you what I know needs to be done in order for the Lakers to be a more comfortable environment for people to want to come and play basketball and coach and all these different things. Front office, first of all, has to stop being jerks to the people that they don't appreciate. You hired bad guys at what they do. You can't treat them bad because you're not happy at the job they did. You signed up for them to be who they are. So even though I'm a fan, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. They did this, yeah. But behind the scenes, when you're really firing people at the buzzer at the end of your season to make a statement like, we're not going to stand for this anymore, we're, as in you guys, are the problem. Y'all don't need to be standing at all. Y'all need to go sit down. That's the problem. Y'all think that y'all supposed to put your chest out and say, see, we will not stand for Frank Vogel's nonsense. No, you need to not stand for your own. In the mirror you go. That's what you need to do, Laker Nation. Organization, rather. Front office. Genie bus. It's the mirror first, friend. It's not the people you hire. So that's all I got to say. I say it every day. I hope you guys are aware of who I am by now. Laker fan since 1994. I'm not going anywhere. You could put Minnie Mouse in Laker uniform. I'm still going to root for her. We're going to win. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to be silent. And I'm not going to be someone that's just buying paraphernalia and rooting for stuff when I know the team isn't structured to win. No. That's not how this fan works. This fan is going to speak, and speak a lot. So, yeah, I thank everybody for following me. Of course, I'm following the playoffs right now, for which we are not a part of. And, I'm enjoying it, and I can't wait to see Purple and Gold back out there again. And I think the decisions we make can't just be about getting to the playoffs. It has to be about winning the championship. And if we're just going there to get ousted like Toronto or Chicago or something, we're just going to go and bow out and call that a successful season. Nah, that's not going to work for me as a fan. It's not going to work for any of us. So I just want to let that be known. We like our picks. We don't care about mortgaging our future any further. We're happy we got a championship, but I can't speak for nobody else on this one, but I don't like how we got it. I don't like how we had to build in order to get it. I don't think that's the only way to win a championship. I think it's a cheap way to win a championship, and I think it costs too much. When you consider you have to give away 8-9 years of your future to secure yourself an opportunity to the championship that we just so happen to capture. You understand what I'm saying? It could have very well went left. And if we didn't win the championship, what do we look like right now? Coulda, shoulda, woulda, did. But at the end of the day, it's the bounce of the ball. And the decisions we make are going to help us control as much of the situation as we can. Because at the end of the day, the ball's going in or out. But one thing you can control is making sure the people who are controlling the circumstance are the people who should be making decisions. So that's all I got to say, man. Fix the front office, and then whoever you hire makes sense. BDF 44, I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.